Hi everybody, I'm here in the Cabrillo greenhouse and I'm going to take about 5 minutes now to talk to you about the range of skills and knowledge that it's good for us all to have in order to be good and successful plant propagators. Hopefully you've already read in Canvas that we can define plant propagation really simply as the production of young plants using either sexual or asexual techniques, or sometimes a combination of the two. But being a good plant propagator requires more than just knowing what those techniques are. In some of the textbooks, what you'll read is that propagation is often referred to as both a science and an art. And I'm going to be talking to you now about what that actually means. So having some knowledge of the science that underpins plant propagation can help us determine what the best technique is to use for the particular plant that we're wanting to grow. It's also really helpful when we need to troubleshoot, when things don't go as planned. It's helpful for us to have a basic understanding of botany. This includes both plant taxonomy and plant structure or plant anatomy. The taxonomy helps us make sure that the name of the plant is right and that we're propagating the plants that we want to be propagating. The plant anatomy helps us make our cuts in the right place when we're doing all of the different types of cuttings that we're going to learn about. It also helps us describe those types of cuttings and describe the different stages of rooting and germination on seed. So we need to be able to manage the propagation environment that we're growing our plants in, and this needs an understanding of basic plant physiology. Plant physiology covers how plants function, especially in relation to the environment in which they're growing. This includes basic plant processes like photosynthesis, respiration, stomatal function, plant nutrition, hormone functions, and seed germination and dormancy. We're obviously going to be growing our plants in some kind of medium, so it's useful to have some knowledge of plant science. I mean soil science, not plant science. The knowledge of soil science helps us understand the interactions between the growing medium, water, and nutrients so that our plants aren't stressed in any way. And it also helps us make educated choices about what type of medium to use in the first place. We always strive to try and keep pests and diseases out of the greenhouse and out of the nursery, but inevitably they do always get in, or some of them get in. So it's helpful to have some basic entomology and plant pathology skills so that we can identify those pests and diseases and deal with them in an appropriate way. And lastly, it's helpful sometimes too to have some knowledge of plant ecology. And this involves knowing where the plants that we're growing are native to, what kind of climate they grow in their native habitat, what kind of soil, what their pollinators are, and what the method of seed dispersal is. And this can be particularly helpful when we're growing plants from seed and we're trying to figure out a germination protocol for those particular plants. In addition to the science, it's also really good to be mindful of the business aspects of propagation. If we're in the business of selling plants, we need to be able to sell them profitably. So a successful propagator knows what the costs of production are. And in order to sell plants, we need buyers. So again, a good propagator also understands the target market for the plants that we're growing and stays current with new trends in plants. One of the aspects of propagation that makes it so much fun and so incredibly frustrating sometimes is that there's no single protocol that works for all plants at all nurseries. If we took 10 different propagators from 10 different nurseries and asked them all how they propagate a particular plant, then I guarantee you we'd get 10 different answers. So finally, the art of propagation is putting all of this knowledge together. It's the skillful combination of the science, practical techniques, business knowledge, and sometimes just a gut feeling to come up with a propagation protocol that works for our particular location and the resources that we have. So, let's get started now on learning more about the science and the art of propagation, and let's head over to the next module to talk about propagation structures and the main pieces of equipment in them that we can use to optimize the propagation environment. See you there.